Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Happy Sunday. Hope all is well. So, what do we got going on? We got the fourth round of the Masters, and we've got baseball. Rough day yesterday in baseball. Predicting a little bit too quick. Seem to have caught a little cold. Excuse me. So a little bit too early to pick baseball, but nonetheless, we'll pick today. We've got today's 4/13. We've got Tuesday. Your taxes are due. You can put them on two different credit cards if you need to. If you owe, if you get a refund, you should have done it by now. You should have already done it. I will owe a little bit. I'll just hit a credit card, and I'll pay it on Tuesday. There's no reason to pay the government early. I got a minor thing to do with unemployment where I've got to. The company didn't show my first quarter earnings, but I have the pay stub, so I did that. But then there's this form I gotta do, which gives the company's name and number, and then you attach the pay stub, going yes, so that way they can call them to confirm, I guess. Anyway, that's important for me to get that and the Social Security. What else? Starting to get a little warmer here. It's like I got all these things due. Like my rent is up for renewal, so I got a couple months on that. That's about it. No trips yet, but I might plan one. Daria's scared of something, which this is what I don't like. I says, "What are you scared of?" But she doesn't read the text, and and then I don't hear from her, or she just says hello, good morning, but she's not reading it. And then all of a sudden she'll read it, and basically I just say hello, I'm here. But once in a while, there's actually like questions. Anyway, watch a lot of Stoic. Stoic is like you don't really. You can be alone and you're fine if you can handle that. You're probably better off because of all these little games that the girls play, unless you find the right girl. But that's a lesson we need to learn. So that's about it for that. Let's go through. Gold. Gold's still the same. Gold will start tonight about 6:00. China gets the ball. There's a lot of stuff out there on China's tariffs and the U.S. tariffs, and it's not good for anybody. Realizing all these countries are tariffing the U.S., I would not have allowed it, but frankly. But we don't really sell goods anywhere anyway, so I don't even understand half the tariffs. What do we make? We don't make anything. GM and Ford maybe. But we're picking up because we don't tariff people. Well, until now, we'd get goods cheap, which is we benefited from it. The game of tariff, the game of trade is not supposed to be even. If they make more, that's cheaper for us, and we buy them, and we don't make anything, we benefit because we get their goods cheap. And since we don't make anything, we don't sell anything. We put all these plants in China, and we run over there because the labor's cheap. We don't think about it because our whole managing system and most of the people are Keynesian, and they just don't understand. And you can't argue with the Keynesian because they don't know what they're talking about, unfortunately. So anyway, let's first look at baseball, and then we'll see if anything at the draft, and then we'll go to that. So let's look at yesterday. 3-unit, we got Detroit. Detroit wins. Just a second. Hi. I'm just starting class. Can I call you right back?
Yeah, did you want to get together later?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, I'll call you back. That was Alyssa. All right, so let's go. So Detroit wins. Philadelphia go over 8 instead of Philly. They don't score. I started out really slow. Then the Niners lose. The New York Mets lose. Baltimore under goes over. Tampa Bay loses. So I'm off to a wonderful start with 1, 2, 3, 5, 1 and 5. The White Sox win. Washington over wins. Cleveland over 7.5 wins. Pittsburgh under 8.5 wins. I go with Houston. They lose. I go with Arizona over 9. That wins. San Diego over 8.5 loses. And the Cubs over 8.5 against the Dodgers win 16-0. Amazing. And then Seattle wins. So I'm pretty close. 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 2 and 5, 3 and 5, 4 and 5, 5 and 5, 5 and 6, 6 and 6, 6 and 7, 7. I actually go 8 and 7 in my picks. 1 and 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4. I go 2 and 4. It's interesting the psychology of this, where the games that you like more and you put as 2-unit, 3-unit versus where you're not putting anything. When you look at it, you got to wonder, well, why did I pick Tampa Bay and not pick the White Sox? Not pick Pitt under, but took Houston. Not taking Arizona over 9, but taking San Diego over 8.5. It's just interesting. And this happens a lot in football where you pick, there's 10 games and you can choose any one of the 10, and more than likely you end up with 3 strong plays and all the other little plays win, but the 3 you chose lose, or you go 1 and 2 or something, but you hit all the other ones. That always happens to me, especially college football, where it doesn't always happen, but a lot of the times there's those games that you like and you don't pick, and then you don't pick it, and then you go from there, and you don't get it. I mean, it just, why am I picking this team against the other team? The other team wins. So that's really the critical point. And I ask myself all the time, why did you choose? Why did I choose San Diego instead of Arizona over? And a lot of it is the pitching. A lot of it is you're fooled, especially this early. You're fooled by the pitching statistics. You're fooled by the hitting. There's something that fools you. And that's what happens here. So I know I'm on a little bit earlier. I just got to print something off at the library on my way to swim. And I need to get avocados and dark chocolate at Walmart's, which is near the swim. So I want to get to swim and get back for the Masters. Anyway. So let's look at today's games and let's try to figure out what the hell is going on. All right. First game, 1:35. It is now 11:20, 2 hours. The 49ers and the Yankees. The Yankees minus 120, 7.5. Logan Webb, 1-0 with the 189 for the Niners. Carlos Rodon, 1-2 with the 519. We had San Francisco yesterday. San Francisco killed them the first game. San Francisco with a good pitcher, which we must have overvalued, and they lose. And now we got, again, Logan Webb 1-0 with the 189. Carlos Rodon 1-2 with the 519. So when you analyze it, you go, I like San Francisco. Now, are we overanalyzing Logan Webb? Want to know what the 189? Are we undervaluing Carlos Rodon? He's 1-2 with the 519. You know, really, I think the key is how will he pitch against the Niners? Logan Webb pitch against the Yankees. That's really what you want to know. So superficially, I like the 49ers, but the Yankees are favored. Well, that doesn't really mean anything. Over under of 8, I really don't know offense yet. Even if I look at batting averages, it really doesn't help you. Like I say, a guy who's hitting 098 gets 3 hits, and the guy hitting 310 doesn't. And it's averages. So it's always going to be really clueless of how much can you count on teams with a 300 average versus teams with the 200 average. You would think the team with the 300 average would win all the time because they hit more. And probably in the long run, you're right. But in one game, that's what the problem is. So I would look at this and say, well, I like the 49ers because of their pitcher, and Rodon's pitching like crap. So let's go San Francisco. Now, the key, though, here is doing it consistently. Okay, now I'm not going to pick them as a 2 or 3 star, just a regular play, and I'm not going to bet it. However, you look at it and you go, maybe I should bet it, right? So you don't bet it and it wins. And you go, why didn't I play it? And if I do play it and it loses, why did I play it? So you really have to have your guidelines and stick to them and be consistent with it. When I see a good pitcher play a bad pitcher, I take the good pitcher, period. So I'm taking the Niners. Do I really want to play, 2 or 3 units on it? I'm going to let it go, so it'll probably win, right? All right. Next game, Toronto and Baltimore. Baltimore minus 135, 8.5. We got Jose Barros for Toronto, 1-1 with a 4.58 against Cade Povish, 0-1 with a 3.48. This looks like it'll be a high scoring game because I got 2 pitchers. Neither pitcher I can count on because they both have pretty big ERAs. The other thing is these guys, I find the managers have no idea what they're doing. None. And that's a big problem. So you have really stupid managers. They're pitching the guy. Sometimes they'll pull him after an inning. Sometimes they leave him out there for 5 innings because they want to eat up innings. What is that? That's not good managing. That's just stupidity. So you don't eat up in it. You try to win the game, and if the pitcher's bad, you get him out. We watched 8 men out. When Lefty, as soon as Lefty, lobs the ball over the plate, he's gone. I don't give him 4, 5, 6 innings. He's got, that's it. You got one batter, and if you screw up, I'm going to lose if I leave him in. I think there's a fix going on, so I got to get him out of there. So that's what you got to coach like. How good are these guys today? And if they're not good, you pull them right away. And I don't agree with this 3 times through the lineup. I got to pull the pitcher. I think that's incredibly stupid. If I face a good pitcher the first time through the lineup and the second time through the lineup and he strikes me out, I don't want to see him the third time through the lineup. He knows how to pitch, and he's getting us out, and he got me out. I'm not going to learn anything after the first 2 times. All of a sudden, I'm going to hit him. I don't want to see him. So you're doing me a favor by pulling him, basically. I always like that when they pull the pitcher, like they know what they're doing. No, you don't pull the pitcher. If you've got the psychology of the pitcher, it's just like you're intimidated at poker or you're intimidated in golf. If you're intimidated, then you don't let the guy off the hook. So here I'll go over Baltimore over 8.5. And again, because I don't know the pitchers well enough, Barrios and Povich, and I see ERAs of 4.5 and 3.4, I'm not comfortable enough to play the game over. I mean, I'll pick it, but I'm not going to bet 2, 3. If the bets are the 2, 3 units at this point. Maybe I'll find a 5-unit, but right now, no. So that's what I have. So I'm not going to make it a 2 or 3 unit. I'm just going to play it. But should I make it a 3 because both pitchers suck? I don't know enough about the offenses. It's too early. April, what these teams have played 15 games. Maybe at about 25, I'll have a better feel. But it's really the real key is how does Baltimore hit Jose Barros and how does Toronto hit Cade Povich? That's really what you want to look at, which you don't know. How often do these guys play each other that this pitcher plays that lineup? And is it the same lineup this time as it is in a month when they play? All right. Tampa. Atlanta minus 170-8. Chris Sale, our buddy, 0-1 with the 6.75 against Joe Boyle. Now we got to see if Joe Boyle. First of all, we have to analyze Chris Sale's 0-1 with the 6.75, and not Chris Sale, who always has like a 1.0 ERA, right? So it's not necessarily the same Chris Sale. Let's look at Chris Sale. I thought he pitched pretty good last game. Against Philadelphia, he gave up 9 hits and 5 runs in 4 innings. Against the Dodgers, he gave up 4 hits and 3 runs. And against San Diego, in 5 innings, he gave up 6 hits and 3 runs. So he's played pretty good teams, San Diego, the Dodgers, and Philly. That has to be taken into account also. God, he went to Florida Gulf Coast. This is college. What is that? All right. Joe Boyle, Tampa Bay. Oh, we went to Notre Dame. Look out. He has not pitched this year. 6'8", 250. Holy shit. This guy could be playing like point or power forward for somebody. And he went to Notre Dame. So we have Joe Boyle hasn't pitched. Chris Sale, who's gotten hit by 3 very, very good teams, San Diego, LA, and Philly. Atlanta minus 170, a big favorite, and over under 8. I don't know enough about how are they hitting. I know Atlanta's getting better. They were like 0-8, now they're 4-10. But we don't know Joe Boyle. I'd be flipping a coin if I said over under. I'm leaning towards under because it's Chris Sale. So let's go under. Let's go Atlanta under 8. Again, with very little confidence, so I won't make it a 2 or 3 unit. You just got to respect Chris Sale. So let's go Atlanta under 8. Atlanta probably wins the game, and should be a lot of scoring, but we'll see. Washington, Miami. Yesterday we had Washington over, and it was a winner because there was weak pitching and the total of 7.5. Here we got Washington minus 145-8. We got Mackenzie Gore, 1-1 with the 2.65 for Washington. Cal Quintrell, 1-1 with the 6 ERA for Miami. I know Washington went over. I don't know if they won. Mackenzie Gore, the 2.65 ERA. How much is Miami going to do? So I think this ends up being a Washington bet. We'll just take Washington minus 145. I just see the pitching difference is a huge one. So that's my first thing is the pitcher, a 2.65 against the 6. I got to go. It doesn't give me an under and it doesn't give me an over, but then I take the 2.65. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I believe Cincinnati won yesterday. I had Pitt under 8.5, which won, but I think Cincinnati won the game. Cincinnati is a huge favorite today. Minus 200, 7.5 total. Kerman Mudzinski, 1-1 with the 5.19 against Hunter Green, 1-1 with the 1.31. So we're going to go Cincinnati. And this will be our first bet. This will be a 2 unit. Pittsburgh's not playing well. Cincinnati's playing better at home. I don't know who this Carmen Medoski is. Never heard of him. And I know who Hunter Green is. 1-1 with a 1.31. So again, I got an ERA. So this game is very similar to the Washington Miami game. Why am I picking this game and not Washington Miami? Good question. I have no idea. But this is what you go through as a handicapper. You're trying to figure out there's the confidence level, right? So you look at one game, I don't really have confidence, but it might be this way. The pitchers are bad. This pitcher is better than that pitcher. I'll take the pitcher. But I'm not really – I have a little confidence, but not enough. And then here I have a lot more confidence in Cincinnati. I don't know why, but I do. All right. Kansas City, Cleveland. KC minus 135.7. Cole Reagans 0-0 with a 2.81 against Ben Lively 0-1 with the 4.4. Let's see. He's 0-0 with the 2.81, so that's pretty good. Ben Lively 0-1 with the 4. So this is kind of a little KC. KC's favored minus 135 and a 7. KC doesn't really hit, and I don't think Cleveland does it. I was looking. I'll do that today. I'll look at the box scores tonight after the games, and I'll look at them and go. I'll see what's going on, and what I'm going to do is how many hitters are over 275? Probably one or two on a team, and how many hitters are under 225? And then I can see, but it's not as meaningful as it seems because the 180 hitter can still get 3 hits and hit a home run, and the 320 hitter can go for 4. Again, they're averages, so you gotta it helps a little, but just keep it there. I really don't know what to do with this game. Cole Reagans. I'm gonna go KC over 7. And again, not a bet. All right, California and Houston. I took Houston, and they lost to California. I got to do more than Altuve, right? Houston, 155, 8.5. Kyle Hendricks, I thought he just pitched. 0-0 at the 164 against Hayden Wesniewski. 0-1 with the 3.75. And Houston's a 155 favorite with Kyle Hendricks at the 164 ERA. What did I do yesterday? I had Houston. So let's go LA, California under. And they're under 8.5. Only because we got a 164 pitcher and a 3.75 pitcher. Probably won't be too many runs. Detroit and Minnesota. We got Detroit 102. What is this? And 8.5 total. KC Mize 2-0 with the 0.77 against Simon Woods Richardson 0-1 with the 5.59. I'm going to take Detroit here, and I'm going to make this, I'll make it a 2 unit. Here's a bet because I was in Detroit and I'm watching Detroit. They're playing pretty well. KC Mize, I don't know. He's been injured his whole career. 2-0 with the 0.77. Okay, the White Sox, they're a little league team. I don't know if he played the Yankees or not, but okay, I respect that. But then Simons Richardson's 0-1 with the 5.59. Detroit will hit them. Detroit shut him out yesterday with a more inferior of a pitcher, this Joe Jacoby. So I'm going to go with I'll take Detroit just for 2 units. But this will be a bet. Boston, Chicago. I'm really getting tired of these Detroit radio people. Well, we played 14 games. Are we going to the World Series? Look how good these players are. And you're like, this guy's the dumbest guy I've ever heard of. You don't know anything. There's streaks. There's always streaks that happen, right? They're looking at like Spencer Torkelson. Oh, look how good he's hitting. Yeah, wait till he goes 0 for 40. and he starts hitting 150 again, which will happen. It happens to everybody. So he wants to look at certain guys who are doing well in this little segment against the White Sox and the Yankees, who don't have really good pitching, except for the one good pitcher the Yankees had, Fried, and he shut him out. So this guy's not going to do anything. But again, that's such a stupid topic. I hate when they do. I don't ever do topics with you guys. I don't want to do I don't want. Well, what if there's a nuclear war? Oh, what do you think about that? I mean, it's retarded. So that's what they do. They're like, well, what do you think of Spencer Trophy? To get the fans to call in, because otherwise they won't call in. And then the fans call in, and you don't care. Who's this Joe guy? I don't know who he is. I don't want his opinion. Who gives a shit? If the host can't keep my attention by being intelligent, I don't have anything to do with it. All right. Boston and the White Sox. Red Sox, White Sox. Chicago actually won yesterday, and I actually had them. Amazing. I had Chicago, and they won. Must have been a real good pitcher. Boston, Garrett Croquet, 1-1 with the 1.45. Shane Smith, 0-0 with the 1.54. We got to go under here. We got the White Sox under 7. Looking at these two pitchers, I'm going to make it 2 units. Here we have the unusual. I got a 145 pitcher and a 154 pitcher. So where are you going to score runs against these guys? Now, is it real? Garrett Croquet, I don't know. He signed a big contract. Never heard of the guy. Shane Smith, never heard of the guy. 0-0 with the 154 ERA. So I don't know. I just know that they have low ERAs, and it's in Chicago, not Boston. That helps. And I had actually won with the White Sox yesterday. Boston's not hitting. They're not going to hit this guy. All right, Philly, St. Louis. Philly won yesterday. We've got Zach Wheeler for Philly, 1-0 at the 3.44 against Matthew Liberatore, 0-1 with the 5.84. We got Philly's a big favorite, 190-8. The game's in St. Louis. I don't know. I think I went over yesterday. What did I do? I had Philly over 8 and it lost. They didn't score. The same total this time, and I got the same matchup of a 5.84 against a 3.4. So I'm just going to go Philly because they didn't score yesterday on the weak pitcher, but I'm not going to bet it. And I'm not going to fuck with the over, even though it should go over. But see, this is where you get in trouble. The pitcher has a 3.44 ERA, and the other's got a 5.84 ERA. So, there's going to be runs. Both teams should score. And then the guy with the 3.44 is really better. He just had a bad game, and then he shuts him out. And that's what happens. That's how you lose the over, when the guy with the 3 or 4 ERA throws the shutout, and the guy with the 5, they don't hit him for 10 runs. Anyway, New York against Oakland. We had. This would be the Mets, METSs. We had the Mets yesterday to win. They lost the game in Oakland. The Mets minus 140-9. Cody Senga, 1-1 with a 1.80, and Luis Servino, 0-2 with the 4.74. This is the same thing we had yesterday, where we took the Mets, and they lost. Again, a 1.80. See, you're looking at the ERAs, 1.80 versus 4.74, and you're going, well, the 1.80's got to win. How bad's their bullpen, and can they hit? The Mets, I think, can hit. Oakland, I don't know if they can hit. Do I trust Cody Senga 1-1 with the 1.80? But he could shut him out, so I can't really go over. The over-under is 9. I got to go with the Mets again. I'll just play the Mets. No bet. I just can't bet on Luis Servino with the 4.74. He's 0-2 with the 4.74 against the guy with the 1.80 who could shut you out. So let's look at that. Unless the manager's got his head up his ass and pulls him after 5. Oh, yeah. And I'm looking at pitch count on some of these guys, and they're going like 6 innings and pitching 80 pitches, and they pull them. because they don't want him to go three times through the lineup. Are you kidding me? I mean, these managers have their heads way up their ass. What do you can't go three times? Well, analytics says the third time through, they're not. Well, they're probably a little more tired, but I don't think it's the third time through the lineup is the big problem here, fellas. And again, you're taking averages and you're taking a lump. So you're looking at how many guys pitched three times through the lineup and how did they do their third time through? You're taking every pitcher. You're not looking at Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, Nolan Ryan. You're not looking at the good pitchers. Like here, this guy here, Cody Senga. Are you looking at him for the third time through? Probably not. You're just taking a general. It's like football. Oh, fourth down. We look at the whole. Oh, there's 500 times and 251 times they got the first down. Do you say where on the field? No. Do you say against what defense? No. It's just a general number. And then you want to go against Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or Kansas City, good luck. You're not going to get it. Anyway, Milwaukee, Arizona. Arizona minus 120.8. Freddie Peralta, 1-1 with a 2.0 ERA. Zach Gallen, 1-2 with a 5.28 ERA. We're getting these all day today. So Arizona's a 120 favorite. I don't know why. Milwaukee. You got to go Milwaukee. You got to be consistent. We'll win some, we'll lose some. But I got a 2.0 ERA against a 5.28. I know it's Zach Gallen. I don't know if he's any good. Arizona's favored because they're probably at home, and the total is 8. So this is a live dog if I got a 2.0 ERA. So my focus is more on ERA than the fact he's 1-1 or Zach Gallen's 1-2. My focus is on ERAs. He's got a 5.28 ERA versus a 2 ERA. Logic dictates you take the 2 to beat the 5.28. If they're both 2, you go under. If they're both 5, you go over. And even that, that's the only logic you can come up with. Who called? Yeah, I answered the phone. All right, so we got Milwaukee there. I don't know. I mean, you could probably take it under, but Zach Gallen's got a 5.28 ERA. How comfortable are you playing an under with that? You could go over, but you got Freddie Peralta with the 2.0 ERA. How comfortable are you out going over with the 2.0? See, this is where the only play here is the 2.0 ERA. Colorado and San Diego. San Diego's a huge favorite, 250. We had them over, and we should have just played San Diego. San Diego beat them like 6-1 or something, or 7-0 or something. San Diego's a huge favorite, 250-7. Kyle Freeland, 0-2 with the 3.79 against Michael King, 2-0 with the 4.05. And that's really good to have Colorado with a 3.79 pitcher in that softball ballpark. So I would say there should be some run score here. We went over and lost yesterday, but I think we got to go over 7. So let's try Colorado over 7. I'm not going to make it. I don't want too many picks, although this is the day I hit them all, right? I don't like the 250, so I like Colorado. They're a live dog. 3.79 ERA, 4.05. Oh, Colorado over. Yeah, that's a live over. I think Freeland will give up runs, and I know Michael King is with a 4.05 ERA so there should be runs scored, and we only need 7. Yeah, so I like. I don't like Colorado, but I like the over. Texas and Seattle. We got Seattle minus 136.5. Nathan Eovaldi, 1-1 with a 2.29 against Logan Gilbert, 0-1 with a 2.55. But the over-under is 6.5. Yesterday we took Seattle, and Seattle won. Not today. Too low, but the over-under is 6.5. What do we do? 2 pitchers in the 2s. Seattle cannot hit. Seattle did win. I got to go under, even though I don't like the number. So we go Seattle under 6.5. So again, it should be a 7.5 or 8. Then I'd bet it, but a 6.5. But it probably will stay under 6.5 with these pitchers, as long as they pitch the way they should. In the last game of the Cubs and the Dodgers, this is the Sunday night game of the week. Cubs aren't bad. They're 10-7. The Dodgers are now 11-5. Everybody thought they're going to win 162 games. I mean, these people are idiots, of course, but that's what you got. LA minus 275 and 8.5. And the Cubs won 16-0 yesterday. So Colin Ray 0-0 with an O for the Cubs, and Tyler Glasnow 1-0 with a 6.43. Let's see, Colin Ray. All right, he pitched a third of an inning against that. He pitched 3 innings, shutout ball, and against Texas, he pitched 2 innings of shutout ball. So he's a reliever. He's a reliever, and the Dodgers, Tyler Glasnow 1-0 with a 6.43. So I can't bet the Dodgers with a pitcher of 6.43, especially at 275. So now we got to go total, and I think we got to go over here. So we go Cubs over 8.5. We got Colin Ray, who will go 3 innings, maybe 2. They lost 16-0 yesterday to the Cubs, the Dodgers. They're missing Freddie Freeman, no doubt. Glasnow 1-0 with a 6.43. The Cubs will hit the hell out of this guy. And I would think the Dodgers. I think 8.5. I'm going to make this a 2-star. And that is our pick. So let's go down them. We take San Francisco. We got Baltimore over 8.5. Atlanta under 8. Washington. Cincinnati. Kansas City over 7. California under 8.5. Detroit. The White Sox under 7. Philadelphia. The Mets. Milwaukee. Colorado over 7, even though it's not in Colorado. Seattle under 6.5, and the Cubbies over 8.5 after scoring 16 yesterday. The picks: Cincinnati 2 units, Detroit's 2 units, the White Sox under 7 2 units, and the Cubbies over 8.5 2 units. So it's 4 plays, all 2 units, and that's it. We got the Masters starting at 2. It's going to be between DeChambeau and Rory. Rory's been hot. I think Rory with the 2-stroke lead, I think gets the W today. I know a guy was listening on the radio, and the guy's taking Scotty Scheffler. Like, what an idiot. First of all, it's very hard to win back-to-back Masters. Jack Nicklaus did it, and I think Nick Faldo and Tiger did it. That's it. 3 guys in 150 years, and look at the quality. Scott Scheffler's nowhere near these guys. And everything has to fall right. So he's 7 shots off. He's got 7 or 8 people to go. One dark horse I like is Jason Day. Very good golfer. He's been missing for a while, but when he's on, he's very strong. He had a good round yesterday. I look for him to be right in there till the end. Let's look at the leaderboard and see if there's anybody else. And it can only be the first, people within 4 shots. So we got Rory at 12, Bryson DeChambeau at that. Huge edge to Rory. Now, Rory played out of his mind yesterday, starting with 3-3-3, 3-3-3. He ain't going to do that again. He won't birdie 1. He'll be nervous. Whoever hits the ball and misses the fairway on the first tee will lose. That's a guarantee. So if they both drive it in the middle of the fairway, we'll have a good match. If whoever's doesn't hit it, he lost right at the first hole. He's choking. Corey Connors, now he's a Canadian. Patrick Reed, I hate. Justin Rose, he's a choke. Jason, I like, but he's 5 under. Shane Lowry, I like, but he's 5 under. And that's it. So I think it'll be between Roy and Byron, and the only one that can catch him is Jason Day. That would be it. So depending on your odds, you can play both if you're getting plus odds. I don't know. DeChambeau, he's a terrible putter. Oh my God, he has the worst putting stroke. And what's with the muscles? This is golf, fella. You don't have muscles in golf. You don't bulk up, right? Look at Nicholas. Look at Watson, Chichi Rodriguez, Lee Trevino. Certainly, none of them had muscles. You do not play golf. You need You need club head speed, and you don't do it with big muscles. You do it with, more of a lanky guy. Ben Hogan. None of them were big guys. So I think Rory gets the win. If I had to bet, I'd bet Rory. DeChambeau probably chokes, and then Jason Day could come up. Justin Rose choked yesterday. Maybe he gets a little bit. He takes way too much time. He's whoa, what is he doing? Get up and hit the ball. I was watching bowling. It was Earl Anthony against Mark Roth. And the biggest thing that Nelson Burton Jr. did, our analyst, says they get up and go. Earl eyes it, touches the ball, and within 3 seconds, he shoots. And the same thing with Mark Roth. Gets the ball, shoots. Those are the winners. They get up, they have the confidence, they get their line and go. They don't tighten up. This Justin Rose, my God, it took him a minute to line it up, and he was lining up a putt like this, or he's lining, like, dude, what are you doing, man? You got to visualize. This is what most of them don't get. You visualize the ball going in the hole, and you never leave it short on your putts. But these guys don't know how to do that. I don't know what they're looking at. So let's go Rory, and then Byron, and then Corey Connors will choke. Rose, Day, Shane Lowry, one of those will have a big round. All right, so that is the Masters. Football wouldn't have anything, I wouldn't think. That's our baseball picks. All right, let's talk about tariffs, China, inflation. What the fuck is going on here? All right, so apparently these countries have been tariffing us. Well, the only thing we sell that I know of is cars from GM and Ford. I don't know anything else. Maybe car parts. So cars and car parts. Otherwise, I was at Harley. They did have international, but again, automotive things, and they're being tariffed. And everything else is the service. They're selling stocks. They're selling your money in the bank. So what the foreigners do, the way the game has been played, is nobody buys our stuff. They take their money, convert it to US dollars, and then put it in our stock market or our bank, because they don't want to hold their currency. China, Russia, the euro, the British pound, the Canadian, all of Europe, so the euro, they all get the money, convert it to US dollars, and put it into Wall Street. And that's why we've never cared about the tariffs, because when we buy all these Chinese, when we buy a TV or a laptop made in China or whatever's made in China, when we buy it, they get US dollars. And the Chinese companies put it into the stock market, put it into the banks, put it into real estate. They don't want it at home. They want it in US things. That's why there's like I think it was 18 or 20 trillion dollars in the stock market is foreign. And so we've never cared about the Wall Street's never cared about tariffs because they get all the money anyway in the stock market and they make the commission. And that's how the US is making money. It's got nothing to do with balanced trade. It's I don't even understand the concept that you would even think you could have balanced trade. First of all, how many products are made in the US? 5, 10? I mean, we don't make products here because the labor in China, it's they're on rice paddies, pay them $1 a day, right? India, pay them $1 a day, and that's what happens. So you're going to pay our union guys $50 an hour, and you're going to pay them $1 a day, $5 a day. So the companies ran over in flocks to China to have the things made, and also not to get tariffed. All the money comes back into our stock market and into our banks and into our real estate. That's the trade part they're not talking about. They're not talking about the 15, 20 trillion dollars in the stock market, are they? We want free trade. This is not about free trade. This is not about trade. This is not about tariffs. Every company's tariffing them. We want that because we don't make anything anyway. We want them in our stock market and in our banks and in our real estate. You know who runs everything is the stock market, right? It was Jamie Dimon. It was Madoff. These are the guys that run the country. These are the guys that run Wall Street and the banks, and they wanted all this money in. Hell, Larry Fink went to Saudi Arabia to try to get them to put the money into his funds. So what are we tariffing here? What are they tariffing? First, I'd like to know. And of course, you're going to have discrepancy because you're not including the stocks, bonds, real estate, and money in the bank. You're not including in the trade. They're only looking at goods. All right, maybe we ship agriculture there. I know China just returned a bunch of meat. Like, I don't know, it's like $1 billion worth of like steaks and hamburgers. China refused. So is that free? Is that trade imbalance? Show me where the money they have in the stock market goes in trade. You won't find it because it doesn't fit a category. So our trade with them is financial, and their trade with us is computers and motorcycles and golf clubs and clothes and stuff like that. Everything's made in China. Nothing's made in the US. So of course you're going to have a trade imbalance unless you bring in stocks, bonds, banking, and real estate. If you bring those in, now we're probably way ahead of them, but we're not. So China's problem is we buy all their goods. They don't buy our goods. We buy our goods. We got the big market. So China can't sell to us. What does China do? Their factories are shutting down. Everything's shutting down because they can't. What are they supposed to do? They can't make the goods. The tariff pushes the prices too high. So they can't sell it here. Well, if you don't have a market, you're fucked. Where are my cards? Okay, so is this mantle worth anything? Only if there's a market, only if there's a buyer. If there's no buyer, this card's worthless. If there's no buyer, this card's worthless. If there's no buyer, I can't sell my Canadian club. If there's no buyer, I can't do Teaser King. Nobody will buy the picks. I can't do it. So that's what you have is China's screwed because they don't have a buyer. So I hear today they're trying to get Europe to buy more. And then Europe's making this big mistake because they're saying, well, we get flooded with Chinese goods. What's wrong with that? So how can China sell their goods so much cheaper than the rest of the world? Well, part of it is the labor cost is so cheap. The medical cost is probably zero. Now, I don't know what Europe, Germany, and France and Italy have with Medicare and the medical costs and vacation time and stuff like that. But their costs are, I'm sure, much higher than China's costs. So China's killing everybody on labor costs. All right, so now you've got to compete, the Germans, with Chinese for products. And can you compete with them? And that's what they're saying. We can't compete with them. We don't want the goods. So all of a sudden, China, being so cheap because of their labor, is now nobody wants to play with them. It's like Herman Munster. He's taking the ball and going home. Darn, Mr. DeRocher, nobody wants to play with me. I just saw that episode. So that's the problem. Nobody wants to play with China because they're going to come into your market and their price is going to be much cheaper than your price because you're fucked up, because you got unions, you got high price labor that you can't sell it, and you're inflated everything. So your money's worthless. So China has to find customers, be it Japan. I hear they're doing things with Japan and I think South Korea and Hong Kong. An alliance and something with gold. I heard that. I'm getting tired of this Andy Scheckman guy. He keeps saying, well, you'll be rich on 9 ounces of silver. Oh, what are you, out of your mind? And then he says, okay, on this day, but he doesn't tell you the day. And then he made a comment that COMEX is gone, but he doesn't explain how. He's obviously watching my videos because he stole my title and I got really pissed at him. Oh, this is a master's class with Professor, Smith or whatever. And I'm like, really? You steal my ideas and now you're gonna steal my title. And he doesn't have the balls to text me or contact me at all because they like learning. Him and the alligator are all I'm teaching them. All of a sudden, the alligator says, I'm an economist. Alligator, you're no economist. You're a banker. Hate to break it to you, but you don't know anything about economics, at least Austrian. Anyway, so what you have is what does China do? So they're going broke because they can't sell. So they've invested the cost. So let's say you made let's use this. So I made 100 cases of Canadian Club. I've already that cost me money. So I've already spent the money, but then I can't sell the product to get the money back. I'm in trouble. If you're going to make something and spend money, you've got to be able to sell it. And then that's how you make profit. I sell it for more than it cost me to make. And what everybody's confused on anyway is this. They don't get that this is worthless. So they're all trying to get more and more of this, and they don't realize, no, that's just buy gold. Everybody's so confused. Just buy gold, period. End of story. Don't sit there and try to do, GM and Ford will both go out of business, as will most of the car companies, and because they don't understand the value of the dollar. They've got cars sitting in their lots they can't sell, so all the costs have gone in, and they're not getting the revenue out. This is why going to a Lions game costs you $500 for a ticket to see a mediocre team with no defense. Anyway, so China needs to find buyers for their stuff. They got too many people. People are leaving for Vietnam. Stores are closed. There's nobody there. Right? They show you the airport, they show you the malls, they show you the streets are empty. So China's in big trouble, right? There's no markets there. They're trying to go with Europe because the US is now wants their own market. What the US doing is totally incredibly stupid because you're trying to tariff China, you're tariffing the partners who bring you goods and services. All you have is stocks. You have stocks, and I don't even know if you have real estate anymore. You have one thing, stocks, and JP Morgan. That's it. You don't have gold. You don't have silver. All you're doing is selling stocks and U.S. dollars, which are now worthless. So what do we, unless we get it from within, like maybe agriculture we get from here, but you want to go buy shirts and golf clubs and tennis rackets and bowling balls, it's going to cost you a fortune because we don't make it, and it's going to be added to the tariff. Now, not that we have to pay, just like going to the grocery store. I showed you the Coke, $3.50, but nobody bought it, so now it's 2 for $5. So now it's $2.50. So that's really what we have. And what's the answer? Well, you got to kill the tariffs. As I say, the most important thing is free trade. That's why we have it. This is what we need. Again, low taxes, which they're getting lower. Free trade, the most important thing we do not have. Rule of law, we do not have. It's all corrupt. Stable money, I added gold to it just so everybody knows what stable money is. And good communications, I assume you're telling them, you know what you're doing. So how do we do it? Hey, Prophet. I think McElroy's got a pretty good chance. I don't know how DeChambeau is as far as choking. I hate his putting style. It's way too mechanical. And everybody's kind of too far away. Like they're 12 and 10, there's an 8, and then you got your 5s. So Justin Rose, I don't think he can catch it. Jason Day might get close. If Rory, if they get down to like 8 under, I think then you bring in Jason Day and you bring in a Justin Rose, but that's about as high as they can get is 8. And I look for Rory to not have as big a day as he did yesterday. I mean, starting with 6 threes in a row. He'll be lucky to have 2 threes in that mess today. I play a lot of golf when my back's not killing me. And you do not play the same game today as you did yesterday. You could have stuck yesterday and you'll play great today, but very rarely do you play great the way he played and follow it up with another good round. As I said, the first player on the first tee that misses the fairway, he's gone right away. If it's DeChambeau, if it's Rory, they miss the fairway, they're all done. It's all goodbye, right? That's it. It was that way in that TPC tournament. The 2 guys I never heard of were leading, and I think it was Saturday's round, maybe Sunday. And one guy missed the fairway with an iron. I go, he's done right away, and he shot like a 78. So Rory, I think at best shoots even par at best, but I probably won't. Will be smart enough not to throw 2 balls in the water at 12. We'll see. But the pins are going to be much higher. There's not going to be maybe a Jason Day or Rose can get to 8 under, and that might be close. I'd say maybe 9 under wins. He ain't going from 12 to 16, and DeChambeau is not. He got extremely lucky with his putting. He's a terrible putter. So I look at that. I think they both have kind of weak days today. Well, I don't know. I think they start at 2:00, so I think 2:30 maybe. I got to go to the library and print off something for stupid unemployment, and I gotta stop for avocados and dark chocolate at Walmart, and then I gotta hit the pool. But I think I won't ride. I think I'll just swim. And that's why I'm on a little earlier. Alyssa's calling. I think she wants dinner, which I don't want to. It better be a place that I can watch the Masters. And that's about it. So a business is set up to sell. You make a product, you sell it for a profit. The tariffs are eating into the profits. Now I got to pay. If I'm China, I got to pay 145% additionally into making something. Well, my profit margins may be 20%. So I can't do that. So they're outpricing China, which is really bad because the consumers want to buy things cheap. I want to spend $5. I want to spend $100 on a phone. I don't want to. Is this made in China? Samsung? I can't tell. Probably. Is iPhone made in China? Absolutely. We showed you that video where it was some communication company. And they were cutting all their middle management's salary and titles and everything. I think it was Funcom or it's one of the places. And what's going to happen to Apple now? You see their stock falling, right? Because it's not going to be 1,600. Add 140% tariff to it. That's another $1,000. So who's got $3,000 paid for an Apple? Because it's made in China and they got to get it back to the U.S. So what China's been doing is they've been sending things to Canada and Mexico and saying just snap it together and then you sell it and you pay us the difference, right? But I'm not sure what iPhone's going to be in big freaking trouble. I'd get out of Apple. Amazon's got to be in trouble because they're not going to ship, right? Amazon relies on people buying goods and they ship it to your house. Well, wait a minute. Nobody's going to buy anything because the goods aren't going to be here and they're not going to be the price you're expecting anymore because China kept the price low. Why would you hurt China? It's insanity. Trump did drop the tariffs on some products such as iPhones. Well, there's still tariffs on them. He's hitting China for 140. That's on everything. So I'm not quite sure he's picking the products, but it's not. I'm sure there's tariffs on the iPhone coming from China. I'm not buying that. I haven't seen that. But this is the problem he's playing. You raise costs on those, they can't sell them, and then in the public is here, right? This is what I'm going to pay, and you make it more expensive with tariffs. You're selling the air. I'm sure tariffs hit iPhones. Not maybe at 145, maybe at 70 or 80%. I don't think he dropped it to zero. Maybe in Canada he did. I doubt he did it here. He said 145. He didn't say except iPhones. Or accept that. So it's going to hurt Amazon. It's going to hit iPhones. It'll hit Microsoft because they made the computers very cheap coming from China. Well, you're not going to be able to. The prices will try to go up. Doesn't mean they will go up. The costs will go up. It's going to cost China more. So China won't sell to the U.S. So what have you done, Trump? You made the tariff so high that China won't sell any goods to the U.S. They're looking for Japan and Korea and Europe, other countries to sell their goods to. I'm sure Brazil and Mexico and countries Latin America. So this is what you have. You've just lost the producer who makes a lot of your goods cheap. You've just fucked everybody here. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't get it. We should have free trade. And now you're making these tariffs. You are causing a depression. This will make 1929, 1930 look like a holiday. What the fuck are you doing? So I don't know. That could be why gold's running up. Maybe he wants to buy gold. I don't know, but I don't think he thinks anybody has gold here. He doesn't have gold. So I don't know. All I can tell you is you have to have a market. You want competition. The market determines the price. Now, if you make something, if this costs me $50, I need to be able to sell it for 75. If you're making the tariff so high that now my costs are $75, I need to sell it for 100 and the market says no. I don't need Canadian Club 12 year that much, so I'm not going to give you $100 for the bottle. The 75 I was giving you is all I'm giving you, and now your costs have gone up to 75. Your price is 75. You're out of business because you have to make profit. Otherwise, you're not in business. That's the whole point of business. Cost me 10, I sell it for 15. Okay, I can live with that. So that's what you have with that. You have the things, profit. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol said that the goods would be excluded from Trump's 10% global tariff on most countries and the much larger Chinese import tax. The goods would be excluded from Trump's. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've not heard that. Why would you exclude iPhones? What's the point of the tariff? Well, it's only on these goods. I don't buy that. If you're going to tariff 145, you tariff everything. I don't know what the 10% is either. I don't know what you're talking about there. He didn't do 10% on most countries. He did what they were doing us at half. So I see somebody who's tariffing us at 70. We're doing 35. This is why we can't do business with the rest of the world, is because we've got to add the tariffs to our cost, and our labor cost is too high anyway. Plus, our U.S. dollar is too high, so that drives the cost up on most countries. They have to pay more for it because the dollar is too expensive. So as you're saying, the Canadian dollar, it's like 135. So you're automatically paying 135 for the American dollar. So if you buy something from America, you already got a 35% tariff before you started on it. Profit. It marks the first significant reprieve of any kind in Trump's tariffs on China, with one trader describing it as a game changer scenario. Yeah, I don't care about that. It's not a game changer scenario of iPhones. It's his buddy it's Apple. He probably has stock in Apple. I don't really care. The tariffs, one product, they sell more than one product, but I don't believe that anyway. I'll have to research it. But from what I see, Trump's tariffing everything, 145. China's going broke because they can't make anything. All the orders are being stopped. So I don't know. Without seeing it, I don't know really where your sources are. U.S. Customs is not a good source. All right. So you have to have a market, but as you're driving the cost up, you drive the price up only if and only the market allows it. So even if they don't tariff the iPhone, it's still $1,600 for an iPhone. Who the hell can afford $1,600 for a phone? Mine's 100, I think 110. It's fine. It calls. I can WhatsApp Daria. It can take pictures and text. Just what I need. Why do I need a $1,600 phone? Oh, no reason. Anyway, but that's the thing. So China's looking for markets to sell their goods. The other countries don't want them because they're all screwed up. They're all protectionist. They're all Keynesian, these people. I read you Keynesians, protectionism, unions, tariffs are all bad for your economy and your country. And yet we're making sure we destroy the world financially because everybody's tariffing everybody, which gets you nowhere. It's got to be free trade. So right off the bat, you're not doing free trade. Right off the bat, I don't know individual products, but most of the products China's fucked with. They can't go to Europe. They don't want them flooding the market, which doesn't make any sense because they're cheaper. Let the market, you have a free market. That's what a market is. You let the market dictate what you're going to do. Anyway, so the tariffs are going to kill everything because it's driving cost up, and therefore it kills the profits because you're not going to be able to add 145% to the things you're trying to sell from China or wherever you're selling them to, or anybody else coming in just got hit with 60, 70% tariffs. They're not going to, cost added to them. Again, they got to make profit. So if it costs me 50, now it costs me 75. I now got to sell it for 100, which I can't because of the market. So I got to go out of business. And that's what's going to happen to most of these countries. They can't afford, they won't be able to make profit. This is why you don't do tariffs. You still have to mark your goods up, and it's up to the market to buy it. Now, certain things, golf clubs, tennis rackets, probably go out of business because nobody needs that. iPhones, even without a tariff, is going to be in big trouble. So it again comes into, this is what we'll pay for it. Tariffs are going to raise the cost up. They're going to try to raise their price. Nobody's home. They're going to have to lower their price, but they can't make profit because the costs are too high. They're fucked. Just because your costs go up does not mean you can raise prices. You can try, but nobody's home. We're down here. You're up here. Guess what? You're not selling any. Just like I say with Toyota, they're $35,000 for the Camry, and no, he couldn't sell one of them. He went back to 26,000, and now he's selling them. It's simple. It's simple Austrian economics. It's simple markets. You can only sell what the customer will buy it for. That's it. You cannot force it. I can't make Teaserking $1,000 a pick. Ain't nobody going to be home to buy it. So I got to go and figure out what my market is. Just like Canadian Club, just like an iPhone, just like my Mano card. I can't put this out at $1 million. There's nobody buying it. I can see what it's sold for because that's what people will check, and they'll pay me what it's sold for. But I got to get it graded.
Jesus Christ.
It's funny. Then I get in the pool or the hot tub, and my cold goes away. So anyway, that's what we have, and that's the problem with tariffs. It raises cost, and then it really, a lot of companies have to go out of business because they can't make their 20%. What they should all be doing, if I was in any of these countries, I'd be dumping my inventory, buying gold with it, and saying, fine, I won't make anything, I won't ship anything, and I'll just buy as much gold as I can. And that's it. That's pure and simple what you have to do. And say, fine, just like what we're doing. I won't play the game. I'm not going to sit there and worry about this. I'm not going to worry about stocks, bonds, real estate. I'm in gold and silver. I can kick back. I don't have a worry in the world because you can't fuck with gold. You can't print it. You can't inflate it. You can't do anything. Even if they tariff it, which I don't know how they could, but it doesn't matter. The market rate gets the price, not a tariff. So it might change the cost to bring in the gold bars to make the 1 ounce gold coins, but that's done by COMEX. They're the ones who sets the price. And right now it's going, and they have all these derivatives, and they're really fucked by because they can't. They're really fucked by it because they can't get out of the derivatives. So they're all going to lose their ass. All these bullion banks. If you got money in your bullion bank, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, you better get it out because when they go broke, they're stealing your money. And we know that's what JP Morgan does, is steal everybody's money. Let's see. Profit. It marks the first significant reprieve of any kind in Trump's tariffs on China with one trading BBC. People will, so we're going to trust the news. Okay. People will still gladly pay $1,600 for an iPhone. They're all fanatics. I don't, first of all, I don't think they'll be 16. Secondly, I don't think so because when it's between that and eating and heating your house and putting clothes on your back and feeding your kids, I think the eating takes over. 1,600, that's US, and that's what you could pay if you're still getting money in and you can pay it. If, it's a big if. You go to the grocery store, everything's more expensive. Your heat and electricity's higher. Your rent probably went up, or your mortgage. So you got less money. You're probably not going to keep your job. So are you really going to want to pay $1,600 for an iPhone? I don't think so. Do I have any videos to share? I know I was looking at some. Did you watch the Rock against Stone Cold? It was a pretty good match. Mr. McMahon had to come out to win it. I recommend watching this one on cholesterol by our Dr. Sten. It's a big lie that cholesterol causes heart problems. And so you take the medicine, the doctor says your cholesterol's high, take these medicine. That's what kills you is the medicine for something you don't even need, because the cholesterol is not the way he describes it is, if you go to a fire and you see a fire engine there, you think the fire engine caused the fire. No, the fire engine's there to put out the fire. The cholesterol's there to put out the problems. It didn't cause the heart problems. It's trying to put it out. That's the key difference. All right, here's signs of collapse. So China is collapsing. This one I think we looked at yesterday, the middle class.
Going on everywhere. I finished cleaning. My shift is over, and now I'm unemployed. Where can I find a job? There are no orders, and I don't even have money to live on. Right now, with the tariff war going on, many people in China are losing their jobs. Even business owners aren't spared. Recently, everyone's talked about the increase in U.S. tariffs. For us in the textile industry, this is really a huge blow. A lot of our clients have either stopped placing orders or canceled them altogether. Things were already bad before, and now it's even more uncertain. With the intense competition going on everywhere, where can small and medium-sized businesses like us go? We have so much production capacity, but we can't sell overseas. If we try to sell in the domestic market, we're crushed by competition. It's like having too many eggs. They go bad before anyone eats them. On April 10th, the U.S. raised tariffs on Chinese goods to 145%.
Including iPhones. Housing prices fall in China. So China's basically fucked. Let me see if I can get... Where's that one I wanted to show you? China stock market crash. I mean, here at 69% tariff hits China. Economy set back 30 years. I find it hard to believe he's letting iPhone off the hook. Here. This is this.
US dollars in a new... Defend our rights. Defend our rights. Foxconn, defend our rights. On the morning of March 26, 2025, around 500 mid-level supervisors at the Foxconn factory in Taiyuan, Shanxi, went on strike. They were protesting the company's decision to remove their management titles. Several workers said they were notified the day before that their management roles would be eliminated. This would mean a cut of about 1/3 of their salaries. Many of them were outraged. They felt that after working hard for the company for so many years, Foxconn was now using this underhanded move to pressure them into quitting. That morning, workers gathered in front of the Foxconn labor union building in Taiyuan, demanding an explanation from company management. At the protest, a supervisor named Jiang spoke with workers and said the company would temporarily hold off on removing their roles. He promised a clear answer in early April, but many workers didn't believe him. They suspected that it was just another delay tactic, something they said Foxconn often does. They pointed out that over the past 2 years, the company had repeatedly used the threat of removing management roles to force them to take on extra tasks. Foxconn is one of Apple's biggest suppliers. The Taiyuan plant mainly produced...
Foxconn is one of Apple's biggest suppliers. They're already laying off people before these tariffs. So I don't know what you're saying. Send you the link for the rock match. Just do you not go on YouTube? I mean, just go on YouTube and it's full match, The Rock versus Stone Cold. They're all on because it's WrestleMania coming up. So I mean, it's right here. There. So type in either go to WWE or go to The Rock versus Stone Cold. It's not that hard. So that's Foxconn, which is Apple. So they're already firing people because they know people aren't going to buy. Now, the tariffs, if this is true or not, I don't believe. I don't see where Trump is. He just said 145%. He's not excluding Apple. So I'm sure everybody's going to get hit with it. So what is he? Oh, it's 145, but I'm going to exclude these 1,000 companies. No, you can't do that. I've not heard that and not seen it, and I don't know, but maybe that's in Canada where if they sell it, because if it's Apple, Foxconn, they're selling all over the world. But you take that out of it, now there's no taxes that people are earning. They need the money out of the bank. There's unemployment there. So China's basically bankrupt, except, by the way, 60,000 tons of gold. The citizens have another 20,000 tons of gold. So that's 80,000 tons of gold that they have. And that's what's going to save them. And the U.S. has zero. So the U.S. either intentionally is doing this to get into the gold, or is just so stupid they don't know what they're doing. And I kind of put my money on B. I don't think Trump knows what he's doing. You don't fuck around with tariffs. Tariffs are the sure way to have a major depression. Why do you want that? Oh, so we'll all go on CBDCs or Bitcoin or whatever he's got going. If you don't have gold, it doesn't matter. The money's worthless. So if you hear CBDCs or these altcoins and they're backed by this, they're still worthless. The only thing that gives it money is gold. You gotta understand that. And that's where we're at. So keep that in mind. 12:30. I got some errands to do. So again, baseball. My picks were Cincinnati, Detroit, the White Sox under 7, and the Cubbies over 8.5 against the Dodgers tonight. So just 4 picks. The rest of the picks: Frisco, Baltimore over 8.5, Atlanta under 8, Washington, Kansas City over 7, California under 8.5, Philly, the Mets, Milwaukee, Colorado over 7, Seattle under 6.5. We're still babies this year in baseball, so just take them with a grain of salt. Don't bet too much on these. If you bet, just keep it small. Again, you need free trade. If he's tariffing Apple or not, he's got to be tariffing them. He can't. Well, we're going to tariff every company in China but Apple. Yeah, it doesn't work, and I'm not quite sure what you're really reading, because Apple's produced at this Foxconn and then shipped probably to Mexico or Canada to be made, to be sold all over the world. Every world has it. I mean, Jenna had an iPhone. Carmen had an iPhone. Everybody has iPhones in Romania, in Russia, Ukraine. It's amazing how they get $1,600 for an iPhone. They usually have their boyfriends pay for it. So anyway, that's what's going on. So I got to run to the library. I got to run to the grocery store, run to swim, watch the Masters, and probably go to dinner with Alyssa. So again, I got to find a restaurant that has the Masters on. or you go to one and they got the baseball game on or something. You know. Anyway, I miss where they have the highlights. I mean, they used to like show it again, but I'm not seeing like at 10 o'clock at night. Here's the Masters highlights. Anyway, I think that's about it. So again, you need free trade. The tariffs are making the costs for all these countries go up, not necessarily the prices and not necessarily the cost. So if steel goes up, it doesn't mean GM has to pay more for steel. It just means they got to add, they have to pay the tariff. So if it's $1,000, they got to pay 140%. It's another 1,140. But GM should only pay the $1,000, not the tariff amount. The tariff amount's China's. They just won't stop doing it. So GM won't get steel at this low price. They're going to have to pay more for it. They can't sell cars now because they're all crap. God, what did they do to myself? So that's what's going on. So keep that in mind. Gold starts at about 6 o'clock tonight. China will be aggressive and buying and buying and buying. We're at 32.38. Our next stop will be 3,500, and then it'll be 4,000, and then it'll be 5,000. There really is no drop because your alternative is this, and nobody wants this, especially now with the tariffs. The BRICS countries have blood in their eyes going, you ain't going to fuck us with these tariffs. So they need to pound the gold and get out of the dollar because it's clear the U.S. doesn't want to trade with them. Otherwise, why have the high tariffs? So look for the gold to just go to the moon, and that's Basel III. Silver will not move until JP Morgan gets out of it. And until the inventory runs out in silver, you should buy as much as you can. It's going to go to 1,000 an ounce, but it is not going now because of Basel III. So once it gets going and once it gets over, that's when you'll see the Basel III hit in July 1st. You'll see silver go. So don't get upset at silver. It's way undervalued. But that's why I'm telling you, don't sell your gold for silver. Just keep buying gold, even if it's a quarter ounce, tenth of an ounce. The more the merrier. You're trying to accumulate. I got 60 ounces. Now I got 70 ounces. Now I got 80 ounces. Now I got 100 ounces. And every time this sucker goes up $100 and you got 100 ounces, you made 10 grand. You made another 10. We just made, it was 29. It was 29.80. It's now 32.40. So it just went up 30, it just went up $250. Every 100 is 10,000. So you just made $25,000 in a week if you had 100 ounces of gold. And that's why it's just buy as much as you can. That should be your goal. It's a great, if you have an addiction, it's a great thing is to get off of your addiction onto gold and make gold your addiction. I know it's been mine for a while, but you see what's happening. Trump doesn't know what he's doing. It's George Soros. The Scott guy is an idiot. His Treasury Secretary is a George Soros guy. Understand that. And basically, we're fucked. Basically, the whole world's fucked because once you stop trading, then you can't make money. If I can't sell my product, there's no market. I'm fucked. There's no, I got to lay off my people. I got to go out of business. There's no taxes going to the government. You still have your large debts. This is why everybody's in trouble. The U.S.'s debt's still 37 trillion. Great Britain, Germany, Italy, they all have debt. They're in the same boat as us, but now you just killed. There's nobody working. So now you've got more unemployment. So now you got to pay more out. I mean, this is just insanity. So anyway, keep that in mind. That the gold will go to the moon. Silver's just kind of waiting, and go and jump on it. I can go to my store. I'm sure I can get 10 here and 10 there. That's why I want to get the unemployment going, and then I know I got an extra, $400 a week, $450. And then I can go buy another 10 ounces of silver every month, which they add up. Anyway, I think that's it. Have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. And enjoy your Sunday. Watch the Masters. Again, I think Rory's going to choke a little today. DeChambeau's going to choke a little today. And it's Justin Rose and Jason Day can climb up. They can get to, if either of them get to 9 under, they can win. If they don't get to 9 under, I think they'll come down to 8 under. Rory will start bogeying, and DeChambeau will start bogeying. The worst putter I've ever seen since Dustin Johnson. I don't know. You can't putt straight arm. I mean, you've got to feel it, right? It's a feel putting. I'm a damn good putter, and if I ever tried putting like that, I'd quit the game. Anyway, that's what you got. So Jason Day is very good. Rose should have a better day than yesterday, and that's it. And then the two up top. And Corey Connors, sorry, he's Canadian. What can I say? They're not going to win. Anyway, that's it. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy, relax, buy your gold, play with your gold and silver. All right, take care, everybody.